Hello, my beautiful chickens. How are we doing today? So you're probably here because you either heard me call you from the ether or call you very literally and tell you to listen to this podcast. So today we are doing a collective reading, but really this is a pick your own card type reading. And it's really pick your own pile because I've split you up into groups of 4. Okay, so I'm going to read for each of these groups. What I want you to do is choose intuitively what group you should tune into. And this is where we will have some personalized messages from nature, from the universe, from the organism to you, i.e. I am the organism. Okay, so welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ava. I'm a natural philosopher and mystic organic creature, and I, in my relationship and symbiosis with nature, channel messages for all you other beautiful creatures, with love, of course, always and only ever for the highest good of all. So the card that is starting us off today, just as a group, guys, right, while you're still here with me, okay, is the card and frequency of conception. This is card 16, and the frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. My previous episode maybe was about this. I don't remember. It was such a blur. Sometimes I just talk and don't really remember what I said. I just know that, we're going, baby. But I know that it was relevant because this is what I've been thinking about for the past couple of days, is that holy shit, you really have to give a lot of attention to your thoughts. And I know that when we hear the words, oh, your thoughts create your reality, it's like beating a dead horse at this point. It's like, yeah, we understand that, but like shit's not changing and the world is a terrible place and like I'm miserable. So are my thoughts creating my reality, or is reality creating my thoughts type thing, right? And it kind of feels a little bit silly to, just try to manifest yourself out of corruption and a backwards society. But that's only if you really allow society to exist only as that, right? Because society is not only backwards, society is not only corrupt, people are not only that way. Sure, there are really terrible things about this world, but there are also really beautiful things, right? And I always look to nature, again, to be the first and primary example of all and everything that exists, because nature is a natural bundle of beautiful and also terrifying chaos. So if there is good and evil in this world, there is good and evil in nature as well. So we can focus. We choose what we want to focus on. We choose in what way we want to prioritize this relationship to our perception, to truth, to reality, and what way we want to program ourselves. That is up to you. That is your choice. So I have a feeling that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm just trying to see if there are any specifics. No, we'll get into the specifics with each and every group. So far, so good. So the 4 groups today are going to be based on the environment directly in front of me. We have group number 1, sky. Group number 2, cloud. Group number 3, lightning. And group number 4, lake. Okay, again, group number 1 is sky. Group number 2, cloud. Group number 3, lightning. Group number 4, lake. And we will be starting with group number 1. Group number 1. Your card, what you can use to first pour back into your cup, what we're going to be focusing on today with you, my dear beautiful sky, is the frequency and energy of empowerment, okay? Empowerment coming to us from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck, card number 26, empowerment. supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. So I'm getting the sense from you guys that you have very dominant energy. You have a very larger than life type of energy. You're probably somebody who gravitates towards leadership, towards taking control over situations, because you have a natural and innate sense of power and dominance, okay? So although right now, maybe recently, we've been feeling this a little bit toned or turned down. So I want us to come back to the source. I want you to think about some experiences, perhaps in your childhood, where you first truly felt empowered. What are some of the things that you were doing as a kid that, maybe people, your mom or friends, kind of specifically your parents, somebody who you would have trusted to say hey, you are really good at this thing, you're really amazing at this thing, or you really shine, this quality really shines from you. What were those words of affirmation, of validation that you got that made you feel confident in yourself? What were you doing? What are some of the attributes of your character that have now developed in your adulthood that could be really beautiful and useful tools for empowering yourself and for leading others? I really feel like you guys are leaders, okay? In some way, shape, or form, you have people who want to learn from you. Again, this quality of gravitating towards leadership, people want to mimic you. People see what you're doing, and you are the source of a ripple effect. Getting some Aquarius energy coming through with this, also Leo energy. This axis is very huge. It's a big axis for setting trends or establishing standards, or responding to set and established standards. But I am seeing that a lot of people people want to be like you. So let me just get some background energy, because for some reason I feel like this will fill your cup a little bit if you position yourself in this leadership position by remembering that you are not supposed to be following other people. You are not supposed to be leading, you are not supposed to be mimicking other people. You, in some way, are supposed to be helping society or helping your community balance itself out by giving it a good example. And especially if it is a radical example, the radical energies help the rest of society balance themselves out by realizing where we are imbalanced to begin with. So when you need more of something, you shoot yourself over to the radical display of that so that other people can slowly kind of bring themselves to the middle in your footsteps, right? Something else I'm seeing here, we have the Two of Pentacles and we have the Justice card. Both of the cards, the energies in this card are they're representing this energy of duplicity, of shared natures, okay? You have to honor karmic law in some way. This feels very interesting. So you have to honor karmic law in some way. And I know that it's not always going to be what we want to hear, but there is a message here as well of being patient. Perhaps the full image, or you're expecting to take full form of something, but you're not. That's not how it is meant to be right now, okay? We have to follow karmic law. That's just what I'm hearing. They also have the Hanged Man, so it's definitely I don't know. This is the energy of expecting something, but also being in this transitory phase, in this waiting stage. And we have the Fool. Okay, so there may have been... I see. I feel as though you are, Sky, very, very interested in wiping the slate clean. You want to start over. You want to leap on your heartstrings. You want to move forward with your path. You just want to almost be a completely different person, right? But something is not going to let you tip that scale. Something here is saying, nope, you are going to stand in the middle and let the storm pass. You are going to wait. You have to stay where you are because the energies are not balanced yet. Message for you from this book, Creating a Life Worth Living, for Sky. Oh, okay, so I've opened to page 123. The Drudge We Do for Dollars is the chapter, and actually it's giving me a whole list of like service jobs or like jobs. Okay. Interesting. Generally, because of the heavy emotional strain of the entertainment industry, big tent jobs are especially difficult to make work. If a beginning actor is struggling to develop her confidence, she doesn't need a day job that constantly reconfirms her lowly status in the hierarchy. A good part of the business is maintaining an image of professionalism and confidence in the face of fear and self-doubt. So certain day jobs, though they may put the developing artist in contact with professional directors or casting directors, are only for real go-getters. One young woman who had auditioned unsuccessfully for a prestigious Shakespeare company accepted a job as a backstage dresser, hoping she could get to know the company. Because she was so self-assured, she made what could have been a really disheartening job, safety pinning bodices, work to her advantage. Not only did the directors get to know her, but she made friends with actors who then cast her in their smaller production the following year. The great majority of actors work in no-contest jobs, like waiting tables or office work. Ironically, these jobs allow actors to keep their priorities straight only as long as they are not getting a lot of work. If Mark, who waits tables at nights, gets a part in a play, he must quit his job because rehearsals are primarily scheduled at night. If Whitney, who works as a receptionist by day, gets a 3-day film shoot and her boss won't let her take the days off, she will need to quit her office job or sacrifice her movie debut. Either way, actors need to be aware of those day jobs that punish them for succeeding. This usually means finding bosses who understand your priorities. And then it lists all of these jobs, so waiting tables, theater, film administration, freelance editing, cleaning houses, telemarketing and arts, teaching acting to children. I like this. So this is interesting. The justice card here comes with a matter-of-fact decision. This Two of Pentacles, again, this is the energy of mimicry to me, but also if I'm reading, and that's just based on the image, right? The Two of Pentacles itself as the encoded memory of this card goes, the Two of Pentacles is about putting into action the resources that you have, making them work in some way, getting the ball rolling on something, finally, seeing change in a situation, seeing change in an environment. So here's an encouraging message for you that the change that you do seek is certainly coming. And I wonder from the book if that has sparked any concept of like, okay, if the change I want to see come means that I have to do something radically different, then maybe that's what I have to do. But I'm not sure, guys. This is definitely... Let me get a couple more cards here. Let's get a story, please, Spirit, for Sky. You may be experiencing this yourself. Just a lot of, like... Oh, interesting. I see a lot of like decisiveness, like wanting to be very concrete, wanting to be very sure about a decision you're making. Meanwhile, you're not really tuning into the intuition. Change is for sure. Change is always certain. But in what way do you allow that change to happen? And in what way are you playing the game of change? If you're interacting with change in a very political, logical, left brain manner, you're only getting half of the picture, right? So this transformation that you are seeking has to come from empowering your intuition again. I want to come back to this concept of conception, right? And our source, the universal vibration, the strumming of our organism, this live organism that is nature that is, the all-encompassing reality. So you have to tune back into this source, find that point in your body from which your confidence, your dreams, your imagination all emanate from. Where is that entity? Where is that source for you? Where does that feel like in your body? Because you're not going to be able to experience the world in a way that is truly meant to be satisfying for you if you don't know what that is. My advice to you is to connect with the body, coming back into meditation, into meditative acts like, buying organic food and taking intentional time to prepare that for yourself. Doing things that have a very positive consequence. Taking your time to exercise or dress yourself, bathe yourself very intentionally. Keeping up with your hygiene and doing self-care acts that definitely do have a real logical consequence, but are rooted in something much more intuitive. Okay? I love you guys. That was interesting. That was fun. That was interesting. That was so fun. Hopefully you understand. Like I said, change is always going to be there, but it's up to you to know in what way are you empowered or disempowering yourself to interact with that change. Mwah. Love you. Next up, we have group number 2, Cloud. Thank you very much. How are we doing today? If you're a Cloud, if you chose this group, you're probably pretty chill. Probably kind of just blend into the background a little bit. Once in a while you get you get out there and you really get noticed for the beautiful shape-shifting creature that you are. So unique. Every time you step out of your doors. So unique. So I have a feeling this will be a favorite pile of mine. We have some cards coming out. So we have the 4 of Pentacles and love. You guys are cherishing something. The Sun here with the 6 of Swords. Ooh, I see us taking a journey. And I am so excited for you. Before I get into your oracle card, the one oracle card that I have pulled for you today, remember here that as a group, we're talking about our origin, our source, right? The place from which we expand out into the infinite realm of possibilities. And I mean infinite. I know that we think we know what's going to happen one day to the next, but the universe is not like that. The universe is infinitely expanding and contracting and experiencing itself and inverting upon itself and all the beautiful things. So what do we have here? We have somebody who is so beautifully cherishing their body, so beautifully cherishing nature. You have found something or someone that truly has a piece of your heart and that you want to hold and protect like they are your child. And I think that is so goddamn beautiful. And I want to see what is on the horizon for you. I feel as though you're manifesting some type of very brilliant idea, or you want to manifest some type of very brilliant change of space, a traveling opportunity, something that moves you from one place to another. Just be, I don't know, like an idea that puts you in a completely different place. Maybe you're manifesting a partner, manifesting a lover, manifesting the physical reality of this love that you feel in your heart. My clouds. My God. Are you a Taurus? I've just been getting so much Taurus energy around me lately, or Scorpio energy, and I love it. So my beautiful clouds, let's look at your card. Your card here is healing. Card number 29, the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. When we talk about healing and wholeness, I'm so happy to see the sun here because, unlike the moon, the sun is constant. Our experience of it is constant, except for when you get in the way. Yes, you, my beautiful clouds. The sun always shines down upon the earth, but the little creatures that are there to experience her rays, they get blocked by the sun. That experience gets blocked by the clouds. Excuse me. They get blocked by the clouds. Don't you deflect on me. We know who the real culprit is here. It's the clouds. And yeah, maybe it's just in your nature. Maybe there is a lot going on in the ecosystem that changes, your molecular density and your patterns. But that's kind of what's happening. So what I want us to do with this healing is to allow more light to come in and to scatter this density, to disperse your energy. Let the light in. Let the light feed your body. Let it break up all of this trauma, all of these poor memories that maybe you don't even consciously hold, but are there in your cells, in your heart, in your DNA, right? And let that overhanging cloud just fall away. I want to see you happy. I want to see you in love. I want to see you feeling safe and protected, not in your fear, but in your joy. I want to feel you safe and protected in your brilliance. Because you are brilliant. Your mind can conjure up these amazing fantasy worlds. I see you doing something with either writing or just imagination. Your imagination creates these lavish lands. And I feel as though we're really this is energy also of hot air. Like I said, it's like hot, humid air, but that means that the air is rising. And again, it's expanding, it's floating out. So when you experience any emotions like this, like an emotion of potentially, I don't know, it could be different. So for some people, it may be this emotion of getting really frustrated. For other people, it's the emotion of getting damp and claggy within yourself, kind of entering this depressive state where you just get a little bit apathetic and numb. The remedy to this, as it is suggested, is to do things that uplift your spirit, that require you to invite the light in, that lift you higher away from these turbulent waters, from the sharpness of your mind, and just let your body disperse into the atmosphere. Okay, again, we're focusing on healing. And your point, your inner point, ooh, you guys are denying yourself of a good thing right now. I'm not sure why, but I just got the card postponement. It says if you're saying no, this isn't meant for me right now, and you cannot do this. This is a blockage to your healing, okay? If you are seeing beauty, if you are you need to acknowledge that beauty. Beauty is such a harmonizer of health. It is such an uplifting and enriching experience to be beholden to. So you need to let that in. You need to let that happen, okay? Embrace yourself as if you are the most beautiful creature that you have ever witnessed, that you will ever get to witness, because you are embodying a creature. Isn't that amazing, mind? Isn't that amazing, nature? I know you're not used to it. You're not used to being contained to one form without just depleting yourself and pouring yourself dry. But acknowledge that you in this human body is a beautiful thing, and light can still come in. You are to be energized by light. So do not let yourself turn your head away for whatever reason. My beautiful clouds. You guys are so lovely. Anything else for my beautiful clouds with their healing journey, with this healing journey? Just continue looking towards the light. Things will become all the more clear, okay? Especially regarding this love situation. Just got a nice fat stack of cards on this love situation. Oh, it's just 3 cards. We have past lives, receptivity, and the source. This is amazing. So there is going to be something revealed to you about a love situation, a partnership, about another person. Another person might be coming in for you that really speaks to or maybe like triggers some past life remembrance for you, because I feel like maybe if you've been in a kind of haze, this light that you're calling in will clear the path for this person who was a monumental and significant figure in a past life for you in some way. Maybe our current relationships that were past life relationships does not mean that they were, first, human embodied past life relationships. Second, if they were human embodied, that doesn't mean that this was somebody that we were in love with in a past life. You know, I've seen people display signs of being in like past life mother-daughter situations, or daughter or like mother-child situations that are now in a romantic relationship, because it's just energy, it's dynamics, okay? So, and they're 2 consenting adults. That's the whole point. So with this energy, it's as if you letting this light in from your source, especially like letting the light of the world and the light of your source kind of create this strong tunnel, is going to manifest this opening of some type of genetic memory, some type of past life memory for you that will provide you deeper understanding of your own personal healing process, but also give you a better understanding of like your reality and your role in this reality as the beautifully unique organism that you are, my dears. Oh, and I almost forgot, we are going to pick a very special message from this book, Great Philosophers Who Failed at Love. And hopefully there will be a message for you here, pile number 2, my clouds. For pile number 2, my clouds, this is your message. Oh, so I pulled over to the very end of the book, which to me is a good sign, because this entire book is about philosophers who failed at love, and it's a lot of pessimistic things about, you know, men and women in relationships, or even same-sex relationships that just do not end well. So in this case, this to me looks like a happy ending, because yes, I picked this book up, but intuitively my hand was like, we are going straight to the back, and we have the selected bibliography. And yeah, maybe check out the book, The Philosophy of Erotic Love by Robert Solomon, or The Philosophy of Sex and Love, an introduction. Anyway, I love you, and I hope that you find what you're looking for. I know that you will find what you're looking for. So just keep putting that energy out there, pile 2, and lean into the light. I love you. That was your message. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 3. Is that you? Lightning? Here and gone in a flash, just like that, but leaving a mark. A dramatic mark. A mark that could kill you. Did you know that trees explode when struck by lightning because the water within them boils so fast that it explodes? The pressure cannot be contained. Isn't that pretty amazing? I love that. So, pile number 3, lightning. Let's get straight to business. We're actually going to start with set of cards, this Osho Zen tarot deck, before we move into your tarot cards. How are you feeling today, love? How are we feeling? Feeling for my pile number 3s. You guys have recently discovered a new corner of reality that may or may not involve the conception or concepts of past lives and enlightenment. Perhaps you are studying Buddhist philosophy, Zen philosophy, and really leaning into potentially also Chinese philosophy like Taoism, developing a new lifestyle that takes into consideration nature's energy, natural law, a little bit more than perhaps you were doing before. So first and foremost, good for you. Lightning can also be seen as the symbol of enlightenment, right? Getting these thunderbolts of genius or realizations, very sudden realizations, unlocking very sudden skills or truths or creative powers within yourself. So we have here the card of past lives, and we have the card of flowering. So one thing I want to say first with this is if you are pregnant and about to go into labor, this is a very good sign for you. I hope you have a very beautiful, safe pregnancy. Remember to practice diaphragmatic breathing, I think. Please do not take my advice. I'm not a medical professional, but just remember to stay calm, okay? And there's a certain type of breathing that you can do that can actually make the process of childbirth more enjoyable than it is excruciatingly painful. So, and that's just what I've heard. I've never given birth to a child, but that's what they saying. We also have the cards here of playfulness and beyond illusion. So when I see this reminds me of when I first was exploring nature and first really opening up to my relationship with nature. I had and still have such a playful relationship with nature and with spirit, my spirit and guides, and just, the flowers and the trees and the wind and the elements and all of these things that I learned were actually alive. So I wonder in what way this has woken itself up to you, in what way you have woken up to the live nature of reality, right? Because I say it all the time, it is an organism. We are living inside of a multifaceted organism that we share consciousness with. So here with this Beyond Illusion card, I want to congratulate you because it looks like you are doing some meditative work, right? And so if you need that validation that like, hey, nature is feeling the work that you're putting in and other people are feeling it too, otherwise I wouldn't be able to relay this message to you. So I believe, I want to give you some applause for that, okay? You are a creative person. There is some creative fruit to come out of this, because what I think that this is helping you do, this playfulness, this opening up to nature, is that it's going to help you release the reins of your control over life, okay? When we grip too tightly onto something, we lose the natural harmony that we have with that thing, because nature is not always that rigid. Rigidity breaks cleanly. Rigidity will snap, whereas something that is more elastic and flexible can retain its form while moving with the natural energy of what surrounds it, right? So here's a great congratulations to you. I see that you have a whole spirit and support team of ancestors, entities, animals, wisdom existing, concentrated wisdom that is just waiting to be channeled to you. So every time you might be somebody who, gets these strong flashes of creativity and just needs to apply that somehow. So what I would say too, though, is if you are an artist of some kind, or, a writer, or somebody who feels like, you have a channel for your creativity, perhaps a designer, an engineer of some sort even, when these flashes come to you, don't if you don't have paper and pen in front of you and you can't put it down as an idea, even if you do, a lot of the times those ideas just kind of get lost and they end up not really going anywhere. Something to do instead, I think, is to shake it into your body, to play with it, to wiggle yourself a little bit with excitement when you experience an idea that you're like, wow, that's actually so cool. Like, do a little stimulation for yourself, play with it a little bit so that it can kind of take root in your body somehow, so that the impact is felt, right? So that nature knows that that touched somebody. Ooh, your oracle card, my dear, pile number 3, my lightnings, is the frequency of coherence, card number 13. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. And in this case, the frequency of the heart with the cards I'm seeing, you need to connect more with this childlike playfulness that you have perhaps forgotten about. Again, if you're an engineer or in somebody in a very technical science field, I can imagine that you've probably lost touch with this more right-sided part of your brain that just is naturally and explosively creative and doesn't really, always look to perfect the system before they just experiment with it. So that's something that I would offer you as advice. But also, I don't want to just, say that the logical part is not necessary. But again, we're working with the mind and the heart. So I know that this may be a trigger spot for you. Maybe this is something that you haven't really had the time to focus on, like you've been focused on doing all the right things to make sure that there's food on your table and the people that you love are provided for. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I feel as though you're in a place in your life where you can graduate and kind of start looking into these deeper, darker parts of yourself that hold more mystery, the mysteries of your intuition, okay? Just start small. If you're somebody who's saying like, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable with this, I don't think you really are uncomfortable with this because you're here listening to me talk about all the woo and everything. But there's definitely a part of you that does respond with fear. And I think that is because you have a fear of relinquishing control. So that is the biggest message for you. Do not be afraid of failure. Do not be afraid of relinquishing control. The wheel has to keep on spinning, my love. And again, the more rigid you are, the harder the break will be, okay? Feel free to be flexible. Let yourself play. Don't be afraid of getting a little scuffed knee, okay? Your body is resilient. It is meant to heal. So what type of beliefs, what type of programming do you have to put into your mind to remind you that you are a playful child at heart, okay? That there is room for both the logical and the creative. There is room for sudden flashes of inspiration and long drawn out focused work, okay? So my pile 3, that is all I have for you today. Oh, just kidding. Okay, I'm going to read a passage. We're going to see what gruesome critter and beast from the dark side that you are. And I want this critter or beast that I pull out of this book to inspire you. Perhaps it might be a somewhat of a dark spirit animal of you, the guide that will lead you into your intuition past your fear. And that is the reptilians. Around 1954, the Shadow Group made a secret deal with the Greys, a reptilian group, that permitted mutilation of cattle and the abduction of humans in exchange for their advanced extraterrestrial technology. The Greys offered assurances that the human abductions would merely be ongoing examinations designed to enable them to monitor a developing civilization. But by 1982, there were steadily increasing reports of women who claimed unusual and unwanted pregnancies after their abduction experience aboard alien spacecraft, which were now steadily arriving from the Draco's home planet. In certain instances, these pregnancies were terminated by the extraterrestrials, who removed the fetuses in subsequent abductions. In other cases, the Earth women were monitored during their pregnancy and the birth of their hybrid star children. After receiving a large number of such reports, including those in which male abductees claimed semen had been taken from them, the shadow agencies of the terrestrial governments were forced to conclude that the alien visitors were performing unauthorized crossbreeding experiments with unwilling human subjects, and there was nothing they could do to stop them. I'm pretty sure I started this saying like, hey, if you're pregnant and about to, conceive, good luck for you and hopefully everything's safe. Well, oh, dude, that's fucking crazy. On this card with past lives, the way that this card is held, it's like the way it's pictured is that there is like basically one egg sitting on top of another, kind of like in the shape of, like what are those called? Those like sand timers. It's in the shape of an hourglass, but the point in the middle, it's like so tight, right? It's as if like nothing can get through. This is usually why I see, or it makes sense why I see like conception, because to me this is like, the portal between these two worlds. But the interesting thing is that there's a lizard, a reptile, some type of lizard or a salamander, two actually on either side of this, the center of this hourglass. So you could be giving birth to a reptilian child. That's all I'm saying, okay? No, but in all seriousness, let yourself kind of play with some like random figments of reality. Like, let yourself play around, be a little bit more creative with what you're seeing. Don't be so rigid with how you think the world is and how everything has to be. Like, really open yourself up. Go beyond the illusion of the matrix, because you think that you know what's real. Your adherence to that belief is so antithetical to what is truly real. What's truly real is absurd, okay? What's truly real is absurd. If you think that reality is clear cut and can be put in a box, you're not seeing reality as it is. Okay, love you, bye. Please don't shoot the messenger. Oh, pile 4. Look, I do not know what's going on. Pile 3 is giving birth to reptilian babies. Anyway, pile number 4, lakes. How are you? My grandmother is in this pile, and it's very beautiful. You guys have very beautiful souls. My grandmother was a very, very beautiful woman, and today is actually her birthday. So thank you, Grandma, for being the gorgeous example of a human being that you were and are now in spirit form. And I just love you so much, and happy birthday. May the 4th be with you. My beautiful Taurus grandmother, who I learned so much from. She's fucking awesome. So, lake energies. What are we getting into today? I feel like my last pile, most of my energy has been like, thrown up into the air and scattered. And now we have this soft, gentle landing of pile 4. Pile 4, we have sharing. Libras. Do I have some Venusian energy here with the Libra and the Taurus? We have the Fool coming out. So I see that potentially we are a little bit caught between two places. Either I can just, So I had a conversation with myself today that involved me making some type of decision, and either I can, do it how I have always done it, and, asked for the same level of independence and pleasure and like entertainment as I've always wanted from people and from the people in my life and the circumstances in my life, or I can do something different that just maybe takes a little bit more maturity from me. But anyway, this is not about me. This is about youth. So I feel like the message here has to do with, first of all, your energy is so warm, pile number 4. You guys are so deep. This is the energy of somebody being superficially very, very warm, inviting, very loving. There's like an uh, Indian, I want to say she's Indian, some type of Indian or, Asian mother here who is extending the gifts of fruit and fire to me, basically, to whoever is, in her aura, in her energy. And it's this superficial, like, nurturing quality, but also in these images is this deep, rich purple, right? This rich, rich spirituality at the basis of this. Somebody so deeply connected to the soul of the world. And that's how that can share from this place, right? So I don't want to cut myself off from the spiritual just to attain the entertainment or the superficial energy that my mind is looking for. That will fizzle out. It will fade. Instead, it's I think it's more so about remaining true to this depth, to this soul, to this depth, to this darkness, especially too, because contrasting this orange is this purple. It's a darker color. It's a color of, more seriousness, more regality, of maturity, of being comfortable when, you don't know everything that's going on, being more comfortable in the insecurity of not knowing how everything is going to fit together, and not knowing all, and not being able to see all the edges of something as you might with orange, right? Hopefully you understand. So the cards we have here is the card of sharing, the Queen of Fire, right? We have the Fool, and he is sitting reversed. We have the Two of Wands with possibilities, and the Six of Earth with compromise. So once again, I told you guys I have Libra energy coming through so hard with this, but also Taurus, the Venusian energy coming through so hard for this. The thing about Venus is that she, and as it's become archetypally signified, is that Venus is who she is through her relations to others. Venus depends on having relations to others. And so what you will learn as a Venusian is how to truly balance yourself, balance your needs with your other need to be in service to another person, or to share yourself with another person, because that is a service as well, right? The Two of Wands, I see an eagle flying high, looking at the ground below it, looking for potential rewards for itself. There's a lot of contouring on this card, a lot of different ways in which you could travel this terrain, right? And I see you making this agreement to do this with another person, right? The card of compromise is two, they look like Japanese monks, or just, Japanese men dressed in some beautiful garments, some robes, and their pinkies are touching one another. The pinky is the finger of Mercury. It's a finger of Mercury. So it's almost as if they're communicating to one another that, hey, we're doing this synchronistically. We're doing this together. And I see most of the light coming from this Queen of Wands, this motherly figure who is bestowing upon you this gift of warmth, of charm, right? She's teaching you how to use your energy for good, how to use your body for good, how to use the ability to pick fruit and light a candle and carry this flame for good. Okay, the two gentlemen in this compromise card don't really know what is ahead, right? They just know, okay, if I do this with you, then I'm doing this with you, and we'll see what happens. Now, the oracle card that I got for you guys, this is beautiful. This is the card of the crown chakra. This is a purple, a pure purple energy. Remember, I was talking about purple in the tarot cards, that in the Osho Zen cards that I got for you. And I didn't see this card before pulling all of these others out. If we think about orange and red, red is associated to the root chakra at the base of your column of light, where the crown chakra is at the height, at the very height of your column of light, creating this beautiful, very strong gravitational pull, this gravitational channel between these two. So card number 7, the crown chakra, the frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. This is what this mother is trying to share with you. That when you think about cutting yourself off, think about ways in which actually you can transform this into light. And it's not easy. It's not easy. When you do so, you're asking yourself to surrender a part of your being, of your ego, that is so afraid, that feels so insecure, that its conditioned response is to just remove itself from the situation altogether. And so part of your maturity here, my dear pile number 4, my lakes, my beautiful, wise, ancient souls, is to realize in what way in this embodiment, in this human form, can you respond to these challenges in a more mature manner, in a way where you will see the fruit ripen with you. Just because it's not ripe does not mean that you pick it and throw it away. It means that you make sure that the conditions for it to grow into the juiciest fruit that you know you want to eat are there, so that that fruit can grow and feed your family and feed your children, right? I know you know what I'm talking about. This is an important piece for you, especially. So as you're aging, as you're maturing, as you're opening up to more of this wisdom of the spiritual mentor within you, which pours down from your crown chakra, which has this energy to transmute information in ways that you don't know how to do, but your body knows, right? This is the opportunity to slow down. To slow down. You don't need to have a definitive answer for everything all the time, immediately, you know? Let yourself grow with it. Give things time to fertilize. Give things time to gestate, right? Okay? My beautiful pile number 4 is there anything else that we should call attention to? So we have the card Exhaustion and Healing. I would love for you to, I think that this pillar of light, this column of light within you is very important. I would love to see you, if there is a partner with which you, actually do this by yourself. Do this by yourself. I want you to just lay with your body. The next time that you feel, okay, I've reached my limit, I just need to lie down right now. Lie down. And I want you to place your hands, your right hand over your root. So that's at you can place it over your private parts because the root is at your tailbone. So if you're lying on your back, just place it over your private parts, right towards your cervix or towards your scrotum, and your left hand on the top of your head, on your crown. And I want you to envision a beautiful stream of energy circulating your body in an oval shape. Energy moving from the crown to the root, back to the crown, and see the colors want you to see rainbow colors, but also see the colors that you naturally feel called to. So if it's a texture, an element like water that you need to see, just purifying and washing away any debris of the mind, any blockages that are not allowing you to let this energy flow. Because I think what your body is calling for in this moment, especially after being exhausted, is a moment of respite, okay? A moment of decompression. So this would be the perfect time to clear yourself of stress, of congestion, and truly let this be the first example of you taking ownership of your growth and development that you will continue to see for the rest of your years to come. My dear pile number 4, I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Happy birthday, Grandma. I know you can hear me, and I love you. And thank you all for joining me today. Toodles.